This time, we bring you to Jonangu, formerly known as Toba Rikyu. Built to guard over the ancient capital of Kyoto, Jonangu Shrine was deemed as suitable for the four gods and established in hopes of providing Kyoto a place of safety. Enshrined here is the deity of the nation's peace, territory, the deity of bravery, as well as the goddess of safe childbirth and child-rearing, used as a place of worship for a multitude of deities. When Jonangu was built in the later part of the Heian period, it also became a gathering place for early political figures under the emperor's rule. From such, festivals have been held in fall. In many cases, the 5 sub-palaces chose Jonangu as a gathering place. Many seekers stayed for 7 days to pray and cleanse themselves before setting out on their pilgrimage to Mount Daisen, hoping for a safe journey. Here, we can see Hoyoke no Taisha for safe direction, built in the Bunkyo era, 1861, where the aspiring to be wife of Tokugawa Iemochi, the 14th shogun of the Tokugawa shogunate, prayed for his safe travels from the ancient capital of Kyoto to the former city of Edo, now known as present-day Tokyo. The emperor bestowed a chrysanthemum crest out of fondness to the shrine, which is still held in high regard today. The Torii Gate of Jonangu has symbols representing the 3 light sources: the sun, moon, and stars. These marks are still visible to visitors today. The Battle of Toba Fushimi, known to be the beginning of the Meiji Revolution, began on the road to Jonangu. In June of the second year of Meiji era, 1869, the emperor prayed for safety on his outing at this very place. Today, we have the company of our guest, Mrs. Hanae, a kanzashi hair ornament artist, here with our very own reporter, Lily. They will be taking a stroll around Jonangu Shrine together. Please enjoy the beauty of not only the scenery, but also these lovely ladies dressed in traditional kimono and accessorized by Mrs. Hanae's creations. Let's start our walk here at the main gate. We have the rare privilege of filming and interviewing at Jonangu, usually off limits to cameras due to its sacred nature. As these two are looking at the luck charms, we can move on to an interview with the Shinto shrine attendant, Mr. Fuji, about his passion. Thank you for your time and consideration, Mr. Fuji. We'd like to ask you more about Jonangu Shrine. Could you start by explaining the foundation? This shrine was rebuilt after the Heian War with the recent additions of the deity guarding Kyoto and the deity protecting children, Nomikoto. These deities are enshrined here on these grounds. Thank you for explaining. It's said that the shrine houses the deity responsible for driving away bad luck. Could you go into more detail about this? Many people who are moving to a house or building a new one come to Jonangu for help dispelling their worries and concerns. As previously stated, after Jonangu was built towards the end of the Heian period, it also became a center used by the cloistered rulers, such as the retired emperors and aristocrats. They used Jonangu as the start of their pilgrimage, using the aforementioned 7-day purification ritual. From that point, Jonangu became widely known as a place holding a protection deity for pilgrims eager to complete their journey safely. I've heard that Jonangu has a deep connection to the emperor, seeing many chrysanthemums decorated everywhere. Indeed, the retired Emperor Shirakawa was responsible for enclosing the 5 sub-palaces into a larger imperial villa. From there, former Emperor Gotoba turned Toba-rikyu into a center of culture. It's a very historical temple, isn't it? Could you enlighten us more on the main shrine? Behind me is what's known as the main shrine with 3 roofs, built with an artistic slope. The front 2 slopes are made with the traditional Japanese irimoya architectural style, admired by many visitors who come to the shrine. From the right, we have a covered walkway leading to a building modeled after the original style of the 5 villas. This leads to what's called the Kagura stage. On this stage, you can see traditional Kagura performances. Jonangu is also famous for its wonderful scenery while touring the grounds. Around the beginning of the Showa era, Kinsaku Nakane, a landscape architect, used this in a Goto movie. If you look around the world, his name is well known as a famous landscape architect, such as at the Adachi Museum of Art and the Boston Art Museum, as well as many others. From around 1944 to 1985, over a long span of time, a garden was created with about 80 different kinds of flowers, some appearing in the tale of Genji. And so, many have named it the Genji Story Flower Garden. Lastly, I heard that there's an exhibition held at Jonangu as well. Could you elaborate that on a little more? Yes, this year we will be honoring the 800th anniversary of the Jokyu Rebellion. Emperor Gotoba of Jonangu also made history when he recruited soldiers using horseback archery as an excuse. So we are holding a historical painting exhibition in the new garden until January 20th. In addition, the events to be held from now on will be Kiku no Miku Kagura in September and Ume no Miku Kagura in February, so please stop by and see them. Thank you so much for your time and consideration. So, let's take a walk around the garden, shall we? At the Jonangu Shrine Gardens, Tale of Genji version 2, there are many beautiful plants, such as the weeping plum trees. Blue maple and autumn leaves make the Rakusuin Pond a scenic and prime spot where you can enjoy the beauty of the flowers of the 4 seasons while relaxing. Among the variety we have, there are about 80 kinds of flowers and trees depicted in the Tale of Genji, so it's almost like a real-life experience of the story. The first thing you'll see is the Spring Mountain. The Spring Mountain area is where we have camellias, weeping plums, Japanese azaleas, and spring plants that bloom one after another. It is said that when Emperor Shirakawa built the Jonanrikyu, he imitated Hikaru Genji's mansion, depicted in the tale, and built an autumn mountain and a spring mountain, creating Rikyu with an excellent sense of the 4 seasons. After the Spring Mountain area, we have the Heian Period Garden, a copy of the garden created in the Heian aristocracy's mansion. You can see a pond with shadows of trees in the south of the Kagura Hall, which also includes the temple. There's an island in the center of the pond where a clear stream trickles down a stair-like waterfall, which is followed by an elegant and delicate moss garden. In the early summer, the maple leaves are a fresh green, and in the autumn they provide a beautiful red contrast against the moss. Next is the garden of the Muramachi in the style of the Muramachi period, when Japanese culture such as tea ceremony, flower arrangement, and the nogaku was completed. In the center of the pond is Horai Island, where pine trees symbolize immortality and longevity grow. On the other side, the three Buddha-like stones represent the world of Buddha, and you can see the torii gate with the shrine in the back. In the pond, both the beautiful colors of the koi swimming and the variety of flowers provide a feast for the eyes, whereas the autumn view from the tea room is also so wonderful. The next area with the traditional Japanese rock garden is known as the Momoyama Garden. It has a magnificent atmosphere reflecting the Momoyama period when warlords aimed to unify the world. The spacious lawn and rocks that dot the ocean represent the coastal islands. The pine selected for the shape of the ship represents a treasure ship. Foreign envoys aiming for the capital proceeded through the land in a gorgeous procession. The last we have is a memorial garden of Rikyu, which became the base for cloistered rulers. We have a few representations of that period as well. The road where the stones lie flat is Kamogawa. The spread of white stone represents the pond of Rikyu, and the stone group in the area of green grass represents the shrine. Mr. Fuji's explanation of Jonangu was also wonderful. Jonangu has been around for over 800 years. The exhibition of Gotoba Kamiko and Toba Imperial Palace is open to the public, where you can see different traditional Shinto performances in September and February. From the middle of November, autumn leaves can be enjoyed in the gardens. How does a visit to Jonangu sound? After a relaxing stroll around the grounds, the two leave Jonangu Shrine. How beautiful the scenery and kimono! Please look out for the next time we take a stroll in traditional Japanese clothing.